If it's Friday night, say yeah for another edition of Strictly Sports. Hello, friends. Anthony Floyer here with you for another edition of Strictly Sports. So glad to have you with us. Michael Bullock here. I don't know if good old MF Michael Fletcher will be with us tonight, but we'll catch him up on what he missed if he comes in. If not, then we'll see him the next time. So let's get right into this. Zion Williamson declares for the NBA draft. It's on to the NBA for Zion Williamson. After an accomplished freshman season at Duke in which he captivated college basketball and wowed NBA scouts with a rare combination of size, skill, and athleticism, Williamson announced his decision to enter the NBA draft. By all accounts, he is expected to go number 1 overall on June 20th. Who will be the lucky team? That will be decided at the NBA lottery drawing on May 14th. The New York Knicks, the Phoenix Suns, and the Cleveland Cavaliers have the best odds, followed by the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks. Williamson re-energized college basketball from the start of the season through the Elite Eight and won several College Player of the Year awards, including the prestigious Naismith College Player of the Year and John R. Wooden Award. He averaged 22.6 points and 8.9 rebounds and shot 68% from the field, including 74.7% inside the three-point line. He was not impossible to defend, but he was incredibly difficult to stop. Many teams learned the hard way, confounded by his ability to use power and finesse. Williamson had 14 double-doubles in points, rebounds, including games of 35-10, 32-11, 31-11, 30-10, and in Duke's regional final loss to Michigan State, he had 24 points, 14 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. Coach K said during the tournament, "This kid is just one of a kind. He's certainly a special basketball player, but as a youngster, he has a maturity. It's uncommon. It really is uncommon. And how humble he is and how fresh, exciting, it's exquisite, just the best. And it's been an honor for me to be with him on this journey." Williamson joins fellow freshman teammates R.J. Barrett and Cam Reddish, who declared earlier this month point guard Trey Jones will return for his sophomore season. Beyond winning a national championship, there was nothing left to prove for Williamson in college. That doesn't mean there isn't room for growth. Williamson will need to work on his conditioning, and don't be surprised if he sheds pounds between now and the draft. Williamson will also need to work on his outside shot, especially if he wants to step out and make NBA three-pointers. But those are nothing that will dissuade teams from taking Williamson. All his other attributes, including his ability to pass, dribble, and his unselfish play, make him a potential franchise-changing player. There is no reason for Williamson to participate in all of the NBA draft combine activities in May, so his next public on-court performance might not be until the Las Vegas Summer League in July. Beyond his on-court ability, he will enter the NBA as polished as possible from a PR and marketing standpoint. He is gracious in victory and defeat and is media savvy during interviews. His charisma, combined with an electric smile, will make him an endorsement sensation with shoe, apparel, sports drink, and other companies. So that's all I have to say on Zion Williamson declaring for the draft. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts? Zion Williamson, NBA draft. Don't be surprised if he goes number 1.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Zion Williamson decided to come out. To declare himself for the draft. I mean, look at all the things he's done at Duke since he came in for his freshman year this year. I mean, all the things he's done, and basically, whoever. He's going to go number 1 overall come the NBA draft, and like you said, there's going to be numerous teams. I mean, that could be getting him if they end up getting that number 1 pick. I mean, it could be the Knicks. I mean, it could be. I mean, who knows who else it could be? But whoever gets him, I mean, they're getting a real superstar. Now, will it make them contenders right away? I don't think so, but it'll definitely be a step in the right direction for whoever gets him. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. So yeah, I mean it's a loss for Duke, but it's gonna be a gain for whoever is the number, which team is the gets the number one pick in the draft. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's just get right along with our next topic for you.
And what's a strictly sports show without at least one hard time story? I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to get into a hard time story, but it is what it is. So here it is. Thankfully, it's only one. Praise God. So North Carolina women's basketball coach Sylvia Hatchell resigns after investigation reveals racially insensitive remarks. Hatchell, a Hall of Famer, agreed to step down after a UNC commissioned probe found problems with her conduct. Hall of Fame women's basketball coach Sylvia Hatchell submitted her resignation to North Carolina last Thursday after findings from an investigation revealed that she made racially insensitive remarks to her players and pressured some to play through injury. Hatchell was one of the longest tenured coaches in Division I women's basketball, having coached at North Carolina since 1986, including leading them to a national championship in 1994, one of the greatest moments in the history of women's college basketball. That great shot by Charlotte Smith that won them the title at the buzzer in 94. But anyways, North Carolina Athletic Director Bubba Cunningham said in a statement, quote, the university excuse me, got some frogs in my throat. The university commissioned a review of our women's basketball program, which found issues that led us to conclude that the program needed to be taken in a new direction. It is in the best interests of our university and student athletes for us to do so. Coach Hatchell agrees, and she offered her resignation today. I accepted it. We appreciate her 33 years of service to Carolina and to the community, and we wish her the best. Our focus now is on conducting a search for a new head coach who will build on our great Carolina traditions and promote a culture of excellence. University commissioned review of the program led by Charlotte-based firm Parker, Poe, Adams, and Bernstein revealed after 28 interviews of current players and personnel that there were three overarching themes. Here are the findings announced by UNC. Hatchell made comments that were racially insensitive, and when confronted by players and staff, did not respond in a timely or appropriate manner. The review concluded that Hatchell is not viewed as a racist, but her comments and subsequent response caused many in the program to believe she lacked awareness and appreciation for the effect her remarks had on those who heard them. 2. Players and medical staff expressed frustration with perceived and undue influence from Hatchell regarding medical issues and pressure to play. Despite Hatchell's questioning of player care, status, and readiness, the medical staff did not surrender to pressure to clear players before they were medically ready. And 3, there has been a breakdown of connectivity between the players and Hatchell. Hatchell is a member of the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame and one of only 6 coaches at the women's Division I level to have amassed 1,000 plus career wins. In 33 years with the Tar Heels and 11 at Francis Marion, she achieved a career record of 1,023 wins and 404 losses behind only Pat Summitt, Tara Vanderveer, Gino Auriemma, and Barbara Stevens in women's college basketball coaching history. With all that being said, Michael Bolick, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just a shame that she did something stupid like this. I mean, it's bad enough, Florio, that she had to use racist language, but on top of that, that she demanded injured athletes to play. To me, I find that absolutely reprehensible. I mean, and I hate to say this, Florio, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this, But I think this here has tarnished her legacy at UNC. Her entire career now means nothing to me now.
Absolutely.
The only thing that's going to be remembered is for what she did to those players that busted their asses off for her. During her tenure there, and what does she do in return? She uses racist language on them and make them play despite being injured. If I was running that team, Florio, I wouldn't. Number one, I would not use racist language on them, and number two, I damn sure would not let them play if they were seriously injured. I mean, I would say no. You'll play until you are completely healthy. But no, she did not do. She did not do that at all, and I'm glad she resigned, because if she decided to fight this, I'm pretty sure that that the school would have fired her right away. So yeah, shame on you. Shame on you, Sylvia Hatchell. To me, your career means absolutely nothing now. And you know what? And you want to know what else I think they should do?
Ban her for life.
Well, not just ban her for life, but remove her status from the Hall of Fame.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Because to me, the Hall of Fame is for what you do not just on the court, but off the court as well. And what she did was disgusting. And if I were members of the Basketball Hall of Fame committee, after seeing this, I would remove her from that Hall of Fame right now, because people, it's only reserved for people who should be remembered for doing good things. This here was not one of them. So I don't feel sorry for you, Sylvia Hatchell, and I hope you never ever get another job as a head coach. I hope you're freaking banned for life, you idiot. I'm done. Florio, go.
That's why we call it hard times here, folks. That's why we call it hard times. So, yes, unfortunately, racism continues to be a growing problem in this country. I think it's worse than it ever was.
And it's making me sick to my stomach when with all this racism.
You thought it was bad in the 60s? You thought it was bad during Martin Luther King's time?
It's bad now.
It's worse.
Hearing of
an epidemic.
A policeman shooting black people, and if Martin Luther King were alive right now, he would be rolling in his grave. He'd be upset, and I'm sure right now he's rolling in his grave at what's going on right now.
As he should. One of the many reasons why this world is the worst it's ever been. We have to deal with, negativity, and we have to deal with nonsense like this on a daily basis. And, and I feel bad for the people who have to deal with this, because, for an average person who has to deal with this, we're talking about anxiety. We're talking about panic attacks here, folks. That's all there is to say on that. So, but nonetheless, yeah, she did the right thing by resigning, because they would have canned her a long time ago. They should have canned her a long time ago. Quite frankly, that 94 national championship, that should go hasta la bye-bye as well. So, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. So, Bullock pretty much went down everything that needed to go down during this. Double standard here. Racism is one thing, but forcing and pressuring players to play while hurt, that's how bad you wanted to win. You wanted to win, so yeah. Here's the thing. That's another thing I have a problem. That's another reason why this world is as it is. Selfishness. That's also at a high level nowadays. Me first, me first, me first. That's what it is. And there are those people out there who want to win so badly that they don't care what they have to do, even if it means lying and hurting other people. I have a big problem with that. Big problem with that. I pray to God that, that somehow, some way, all that negativity, all that racism, and all that nonsense will be rebuked from Miss Hatchell's system, and hopefully she'll change her ways. But I don't know if she will. But 33 years, what have you? That's great, whatever. So I honestly can't follow what Bullock just said. So what Bullock just said, I 100% agree with it. So no doubt about that. So yeah. So there's nothing really more to say on this. I'm done with this. I'm done with this nonsense. So take your hard times and shove them. That's all there is to say on that. So let's move on to something more positive. Tiger Woods. Don't call it a comeback, folks. He's back. Tiger Woods winning the Masters a couple of weeks ago. I mean, we were going to get into this on last week's show, but of course, with the NFL schedule coming out, we were going to put this on the docket, but then once the schedule came out, we decided against it. We were going to hold it off, and here it is. In what was one of the greatest scenes in the history of sports, Tiger Woods returned to major prominence on Sunday, April 14th, when he won the 2019 Masters. It was an incredible moment, highlighted by a final round that Sunday in which Tiger would simply not waver, and as he captured the 5th green jacket of his career, Woods added some notable stats to his Hall of Fame resume. For starters, the victory gives Tiger Woods 81 career PGA Tour wins. He now sits just one win behind Sam Snead's record of 82. And given what we've seen from Woods in the last calendar year, high finishes at the Open and PGA Championship, a victory at the Tour Championship, and now this epic Masters win, it can be assumed that that record is serious jeopardy moving forward. Woods needs a lot more success at the highest level to be able to catch Jack Nicklaus's major championships record, but this green jacket does get him moving in the right direction. When it comes to Tiger versus Jack, Tiger's 15th major championship brings him within 3 of Jack Nicklaus's record of 18. Tiger's 5th Masters win also brings him within 1 of Jack Nicklaus's record of 6 green jackets. Tiger and Jack are the only players in history to win professional majors 20 plus years apart, and the only players in history to win the Masters in 3 different decades. Tiger is the oldest Masters winner since Jack's last Masters win in 1986. When it comes to Tiger at the Masters, the 14 years between Masters wins is the longest gap between wins in tournament history. First time since 2005 that the Masters champion was outside the top 10 after round 1. Woods rallied from a 74 to win his 4th green jacket 14 years ago. Tiger led the field in strokes gained on approach shots. That stat, maybe more than any other, has proven to be an indicator of success at Augusta National. This Masters 2019 is Tiger's first major win when trailing after 54 holes. Woods remains undefeated at majors when 11 under or better through 54 holes. Tiger was denied a 15th major championship at last year's Open by Francesco Molinari, then again by Brooks Koepka at the PGA Championship despite Woods' final round 64. On Sunday, he had to beat them both in order to finally break through with his first major win in 11 years. Absolutely inspiring. That's all I can say on that. I can't tell you how inspirational this is. I mean, with all the, we talked about racism and, it gave us back-to-back Sundays back-to-back Sundays where we had an inspirational win go down. You remember back at WrestleMania 35 when Kofi Kingston became the WWE champion. We all remember that. That goes down as one of the greatest feel-good moments in the history of WrestleMania. Tiger Woods winning the Masters just a week after that adds to another feel-good moment. And say what you want about him. I mean, I'll be honest. Throughout the years, I'll be honest, I was one of his biggest critics. I was one of his biggest haters because I thought he was overhyped. I thought it was overrated. But that was back then. That was back then. There is a part of me that still feels that way a little bit, but after this win here, I mean, you think of everything he's gone through all these years. I mean, the big scandal that broke out a number of years ago, Thanksgiving 2009. That's when I really went after him, But he changed his life around, and and here he is all these years later. I mean, I thought he was done. I thought he was washed up, to be honest with you. But he's back, folks. I mean, 43 years old. Who knows? Maybe, just maybe, we could be seeing, this could be Tiger discovering the fountain of youth here. I mean, 40 is the new 30, as they say. So who knows? Maybe, just maybe, if he, sticks on this path, maybe, just maybe, he'll make history and he'll become the GOAT when it comes to the PGA Tour. So congratulations, Tiger Woods. Well done. Incredible accomplishment. Another feel-good moment in 2019, and a week after WWE gave us one of the great feel-good moments in recent memory with Kofi Kingston. So great couple of weeks. So that's all I can say on that. So more power to you. So nothing more to say on that. So Michael Bullock, Tiger Woods, winning the Masters. To me, it just says one thing, two things. To me, I know Jack has all the records, but to me, Tiger is the GOAT. And Tiger, you're a superstar, brother. You're a superstar, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we all thought that this day would never come again. I mean, we all thought that the 2008 U.S. Open victory that he had was going to be his last. I mean, especially after everything he went through. I mean, from the injuries that he suffered to, I mean, everything that went on in his personal life, and the real downfall was that infamous mugshot that he had, and we all thought for sure that he was done, he was finished, but he did win some tournaments, but nothing, Florio, can ever beat finally winning the Masters. I mean, winning a major for the first time in 11 years, and what better place to do it than at Augusta National at the Masters? This is, like you said, this is win number 5 for him at Augusta National, and yeah, he's getting close to breaking Jack's record for wins at the Masters, and of course for majors. So I don't know what the rest of 2019 is going to bring for him, especially with majors, but this is certainly a step in the right direction for Tiger Woods. And, well, now the thing is, can he do it again next month? Because remember, Florio, there's a new thing now. I mean, remember the PGA Championship has always been the final major of the year in August?
Yes.
Well, that's not the case this year.
Nope.
This year, it's going to be the second major of the year in May, so who knows? I mean, we'll definitely see Tiger there. Can he do it again? We'll find out, I think, in about a few weeks. So, yeah, congratulations to Tiger, and a victory definitely deserving for him. So, there's nothing more to say, so let's just move right along, Florio.
And we move on to our double main event, and this is honestly what I've been waiting for this right here. The second round of the 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs. They got underway last night, including a thrilling victory for the Boston Bruins over the Columbus Blue Jackets and a win by the St. Louis Blues over the Dallas Stars. The second half of those series, of the other series, kicked off tonight. The Carolina Hurricanes with a 1-0 overtime win over the New York Islanders, and as of now, the Colorado Avalanche have a 2-1 lead on the San Jose Sharks early in the second period of Game 1 of their series. So there you have that. So let's break it all down. Michael Bullock, let's start it with you here. In the Eastern Conference, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Boston Bruins, along with the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Islanders. And in the West, we have the Dallas Stars against the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche against the San Jose Sharks. So those are your matchups. And I know you're going to like what I'm about to say. I came across a little article earlier. Because of all the upsets in the first round, the Boston Bruins are now the favorites to win the Stanley Cup, the first time in 8 years. So
And not just the favorites, Florio, but now they have home ice throughout the rest of the playoffs.
that is correct.
Go figure. I mean, if you would have asked me that, Florio, at the beginning of the playoffs, if they would have home ice again in the playoffs, I would have said you're crazy.
Not with Tampa Bay. No way.
Not with Tampa Bay, but with that shocking upset by the
biggest first round upset ever.
Yeah, and now the Bruins do have that home ice advantage. So yeah, they definitely got a big win last night in Game 1 over the Red Hot Columbus Blue Jackets. But yeah, I definitely expect the Blue Jackets to come out and play even better in Game 2 come tomorrow night. And I think this is going to be a tough series for the Bruins, but to me, in the end, I got to go with the Bruins to win this series. I mean, I've liked what I've seen from Tuukka Rask as of late. And the play of Charlie Coyle, I think, is a guy you got to keep an eye on, especially after the Game 1 that he had.
Oh, absolutely.
I expect Jake DeBrusk to have an impact as well. David Pastrnak. And then, of course, led by the veterans, Zdeno Chara and Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci. So I think in the end, the Bruins have too much experience, and I think they'll get it done and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, as far as the other Eastern Conference Final goes, I mean, of course, the Carolina Hurricanes with a big win, but of course, to me, the hot team right before Game 1, I would have to say, was the New York Islanders after what they did to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I mean,
yes,
that to me was another upset, Florio. I mean, nobody would have thought they would
Huge.
I mean, nobody thought that they would be able to beat Sid the Kid and the rest of that crew. But
I'm glad they did.
Oh, I know you are. I know you are happy. As soon as I heard what happened, I'm like, I know somewhere Anthony Florio must be has a smile like a Cheshire cat.
You damn right.
Because of his hatred for Sid the Kid.
And that team altogether.
So that's another tough one for me to call, but to me, I got to go with the New York Islanders in this one. They had that little hiccup, but I do expect them to bounce back in the series. And to me, I think this one here is going to go the distance, the full 7 games here. And then as far as the to the Western Conference, I mean, St. Louis Blues, I mean, with a big game one victory over the Dallas Stars in this one. So, yeah, this is another tough one for me to call, but I'm gonna go with the St. Louis Blues to win this one. I expect maybe this one to go 6 games, and then um, as far as the San Jose Sharks go, I mean, and the Colorado Avalanche, I don't know about you, Florio. I mean, some people think that San Jose got lucky by getting into the semifinals, especially after what happened in that Game 7 against the Golden Knights.
Very true.
Because of the that controversial penalty that came up. So yeah, so this to me is another tough one, but I'm gonna go with the San Jose Sharks because they've been in this before. So I mean, that's who I think I got. So to me, my conference finals, my final four when it comes to the NHL, I got the Bruins and Islanders in the East, and then I got the Sharks and I got the Sharks and the Blues in the Western Conference Finals. So that's pretty much all I got to say on this one. So Florio, I give it to you.
Yes, and I'm about to do my Barry Melrose routine here. So, yes, so starting off with the Columbus Blue Jackets against the Boston Bruins. Before their surreal upset of the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round, the Columbus Blue Jackets in their franchise history had a total of 5 playoff wins in 18 seasons. Of course, that could be the most stunning result in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs, as Tampa won a record-tying 62 games in the regular season, only to get outscored by Columbus 19-7 in the 4-game sweep. This after Tampa held a 3-0 early lead in Game 1. The Boston Bruins, after the crazy first round full of upsets, now have home ice for the rest of the playoffs, which should be good news as they posted a 29-9-3 record at TD Garden in the regular season and beat the Maple Leafs in Game 7 on Tuesday night. A big reason for the Blue Jackets' stunning success in the first round was the play of goalie Sergei Bobrovsky. He has been good in the regular season, but this is the first time he has had any playoff success. Tuukka Rask is a seasoned playoff goalie as he showed in his Game 7 win in Boston. The Bruins have a much deeper offensive attack, which should provide problems for Columbus. Compared to Toronto, the Blue Jackets' defense is far superior to the Maple Leafs, but their forwards will not intimidate anyone. The question now is, after their stunning upset, in which they bottled up the heavily favored Lightning, have the Blue Jackets caught lightning in a bottle? They have had a significant time to rest, and that could turn to rust. The Bruins finished strong, needing a win in Toronto before their Game 7 win. Look for David Pastrnak to make the big plays. As I agree with you, Bullock. I have the Boston Bruins winning this series as well. I have the Boston Bruins winning this series in 6 games. As far as the other Eastern series goes, the Carolina Hurricanes against the New York Islanders. The Carolina Hurricanes dethroned the defending Stanley Cup champion Washington Capitals, winning a classic Game 7 in double overtime on Wednesday night. Now they have to face the coach who led the Capitals to the Stanley Cup, Barry Trotz, who shockingly led the New York Islanders to the playoffs and a first-round sweep of another heavily favored contender, the Pittsburgh Penguins, much to my delight. One thing that could reflect negatively on the Islanders is that they will be playing their home games at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn as opposed to the Nassau Coliseum, where they had a tremendous advantage over Pittsburgh. A key to the Islanders' success was that throughout the series, they were the fresher team as the years of long playoff battles seemed to have worn down the Penguins. The Hurricanes are just as fresh as they are despite a 7-game battle as the Islanders' rest could turn to rust, having not played in a week. New York won the season series 3-1, but all the games were earlier in the season when each team was different. Each team is a mirror image of itself. Solid goaltending, strong defense, and balanced scoring. A major key could be who is the finisher and who can make the big plays when needed. For me, that's Justin Williams, who has a habit of being in position for the biggest goals in the playoffs and had the assist on the Hurricanes' series-winning goal from Brock McGrim. The Islanders will need some to fill that role. In the first round, Jordan Eberle had 4 goals in 4 games. They will need that output again. However, the mistake of playing in Brooklyn will take away the Islanders' magic as the bunch of jerks will continue to haunt Don Cherry in the Eastern Conference Finals, winning in 7. So I actually disagree with you, Bullock. I have the Carolina Hurricanes winning this series in 7 games. Over in the West, St. Louis Blues and the Dallas Stars. Who could have imagined these two teams playing in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs? The St. Louis Blues at the start of 2019, the new year, the calendar year, were the worst team in the NHL as they appeared to be set to focus on the future with a coaching change with Craig Berube replacing Mike Yeo and calling up rookie goalie Jordan Binnington. They also adopted the song Gloria from the late great Laura Branigan as their new anthem and went on an 11-game winning streak, becoming the best team in the NHL after the calendar turn. Binnington was the key to the Blues' upset of the Winnipeg Jets, as they often needed late magic to win their games. Goaltending was also the key for the Dallas Stars in their upset. Yes, another upset, this one of the Nashville Predators, as Ben Bishop showed why he is a Vezina Trophy finalist, shutting down the Nashville attack, especially in the clinching overtime win. Dallas won the season series with St. Louis 3-1, with all 4 games coming after the Blues began to turn their season around. A good sign for the Blues was the emergence of Jaden Schwartz in their upset win over Winnipeg, as he scored the last 4 goals, starting with a dramatic last-minute score in Game 5 and finishing with a hat trick in the clincher. The Stars are much more defensive-focused, though Tyler Seguin has been known to go on scoring streaks. If they are to reach the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2008, Dallas will need Seguin to be a superstar. The Blues have a much deeper scoring team and are perhaps penning one of the greatest stories in a long time, all to the soundtrack of the late great Laura Branigan. Look for this to go 7 with the St. Louis Blues winning it in overtime. So I have the St. Louis Blues. I agree with you there, Bullock. And as for the final series, the San Jose Sharks and the Colorado Avalanche, the San Jose Sharks were dead and buried twice during their series against the Vegas Golden Knights. First, down 3-1, they needed a 58-save performance to steal Game 6 in double overtime in Vegas on Sunday night. Then down 3-0 with just over 10 minutes left in Game 7, they get the jolt of life from a 5-minute major on Cody Eakin for cross-checking Joe Pavelski. During the power play, San Jose scored 4 times, taking the lead. While the Knights would force overtime, the Sharks emerged victorious with a goal by Barclay Goodrow. While the Sharks have moved on, there has to be some concern for Joe Pavelski, who was bleeding after his head hit the ice and did not return. The longer the Sharks go in the playoffs, the more they will need their captain. The Colorado Avalanche are the young, hungry team on the rise, led by Nathan MacKinnon, as they showed some of their potential in their upset of the Calgary Flames, as they got great goaltending from Philip Grubauer and strong special teams, scoring 5 power play goals. The Sharks have the edge in experience and have the most at stake, as time is nearly up for them with age and pending free agency, likely making this run for the Cup the final one for this core group. Martin Jones, who was criticized early in the series, turned things around late. If San Jose is to win, he must carry the momentum from the end of the last round. Often when a team is given new life, they go on a long run, and that is why I see the San Jose Sharks winning this series in 5 games. So give me San Jose in this one. Actually, I'm going to bump that up to 7 because I think Colorado is better than 5. But nonetheless, I still have San Jose winning this series. So that's all I have to say on that front. So now there's only one order of business left, and that is our newest installment of the Major League Baseball Power Rankings. And don't worry about a thing here, Bullock. I got you on this one. So and I know you're going to agree with me on everything anyway. So with all that being said, let's dive on in to these newest Major League Baseball Power Rankings. Let me find my little note here. Okay, I have it. So, alrighty. So I am gonna have to make some indentments based on some results from earlier this evening. So, but there's no doubt about it who I have when it comes to the top spot. I mean, the top couple of spots, I would say maybe the top maybe three. I would say. Actually, no. It will not be the top three. My top two are absolute no brainers. That's all I can say on that. Now, as far as spots 3 through 10, that's now going to be a chore because of some of these results from tonight, changing all the numbers around. So that makes it a nightmare for me. So just bear with me for a moment while I get the stuff ready here. So all right. So start off at number 10. Starting it off at number 10. Let me see who I have. I believe I have the Houston Astros here, based on some of the results. Yes. Um, Houston Astros, they come in at number 10. 5-5 in their last 10 games. They lost their games. So they're 15-10. They're second in the AL West. They're half a game behind Seattle. They lead the league in batting average, and they lead the league in WHIP. They're seventh in ERA. They're 14th in runs scored. And since our last power rankings a couple of weeks ago, they had a 3-game sweep of the Seattle Mariners in Seattle. They split a 2-game series with Oakland. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Texas Rangers, won 2 out of 3 from Minnesota, lost the first game to Cleveland last night, and they might be about to lose again here. They're down 6-3 in the bottom of the ninth, so they might be facing another loss here. So they have 2 more games against the Indians this weekend, and then they go to Minnesota, and then that's a 4-game series, and then next weekend they go up against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim for a brief 2-game series. So yeah, the Stros definitely struggling to say the very least. So so I'm gonna have to put them here at number 10. Number 9, this is where I have the Tampa Bay Rays rather. I got hockey on the brain. So but Tampa Bay Rays, they come in at number 9. They're 5-5 and lost their last game. But the thing is, their record is better than Houston, so that's why I had to give Tampa the edge here. Yeah, it's Tampa definitely. 16-9, which is, I believe, as of now, the best record in the American League. They lead the league in ERA. They're second in the WHIP. They're 6th in batting average, 16th in runs scored. And since our last rankings, they won 2 out of 3 from the Toronto Blue Jays in Toronto. They split a 4-game. Actually, they won 2 out of 3 from the Baltimore Orioles. Got swept 3 in a row by the Red Sox, much to Bullock's delight. And then they won 2 out of 3 from the Kansas City Royals. They got rained out with the Sox tonight, so they'll be playing 2 games this weekend at Fenway. Then they go up to Kansas City for a 4-game series rather with the Royals, and then next weekend a 3-game series with the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore. So maybe it's a chance for Tampa Bay to get back going, considering they'll be taking on some struggling teams right now. So they'll definitely, maybe they could benefit from a soft schedule. So we'll find out. So Tampa Bay, they come in at number 9. Moving on to number 8. And number 8, I believe I have the Minnesota Twins in this position. Actually, no. It's actually the St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals coming in at number 8 here. Lost their last game, but they're 6-4 in their last 10. 15-10. They lead the National League Central Division by 2 games over Pittsburgh and the Cubs. Let me see. They're 3rd in batting average. They're 4th in runs scored. They're 12th in ERA. They're 13th in the WHIP. And just looking for okay, here we go. Since our last rankings, they split a 2-game series with Cincinnati in Cincinnati, lost 2 out of 3 to Milwaukee in Milwaukee. They won 2 out of 3 from the Mets at home. A 3-game sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers. That was huge. But tonight, getting creamed by the Cincinnati Reds, 12-1. Going into the day, I had them in my top 3, but after what happened to Cincinnati tonight, no. That's beyond unacceptable. So I had to hit them hard here. They have 2 more games against the Reds this weekend. Then they go up to Washington for a 4-game series with the Nationals, and then a big 3-game series with Ward's Cubs at Wrigley Field, including Sunday Night Baseball on May 5th. So there you go, Bullocks. I know how much you love that. So St. Louis Cardinals, they were a hot team, but that bad loss to Cincinnati, I had to hit them hard. So they come in at number 8. Number 7, I think this is now where I have the Minnesota Twins. And yes, that is confirmed. Minnesota Twins, 6-4 in their last 10 games. They won their last game. 14-9. They lead the Cleveland Indians by half a game in the AL Central. I mean, they've come out of nowhere as a big surprise, an early surprise. 4th in batting average, 11th in runs scored. They're 18th in the WHIP. They're 21st in ERA. And since our last rankings, 2 games. They won 2 games from the Detroit Tigers. It was supposed to be 3, but 1 got rained out. But they won the other 2 games at home. They did lose 3 out of 4 to Toronto at home. And then a 3-game sweep of the Baltimore Orioles at Camden Yards last weekend. They did lose 2 out of 3 to Houston in Houston. And then they pounded the Orioles tonight 6-1. 2 more games against the Orioles this weekend. And then they have a big 4-game series with the Houston Astros. And then another big series, a 3-game series with the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium next weekend. Major implications on that one, without a doubt. So, early surprise. I'm loving their body of work. So I'll give you the Minnesota Twins at number 7. Number 6, this is where I have the Cleveland Indians. They've won 2 in a row. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games, 14-10 on the year. Half a game behind Minnesota. They're 5th in ERA. They're 7th in WHIP, but they got to work on the offense. They're 25th in runs scored. Yeah, 25th in runs scored, and they are 29th in batting average. They have to work on the offense. The pitching is great. Since our last rankings, they got swept 3 in a row by the Kansas City Royals, getting outscored 20-9. But then they bounced back. 3-game sweep of the Seattle Mariners in Seattle. They did lose 2 out of 3 to Michael Fletcher's Atlanta Braves last weekend. They split a 2-game interleague series with the Miami Marlins. And now they've won 2 in a row against the Houston Astros. That is a final. They have beaten the Houston Astros again 6-3. So I might have to consider another indemnity here. 2 more games against the Astros this weekend, both nationally televised. FS1 at 4:05 tomorrow, and then Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. There you go, Bullock. You got a great one there. And then another 2-game interleague series with the Miami Marlins in Miami, and then a 3-game series with the Seattle Mariners next week at home. So the Indians definitely turning things around. So definitely loving their body of work as of right now. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to move them up. I'm moving the Cleveland Indians up. So I just got to figure out where to put them. I think they just earned a spot in my top 3. I think they did. So I'm going to have to make a major indemnity there. So Cleveland is definitely moving on up. So because of that, I got to reshuffle again. Damn these results. Number six now goes, I believe, I'm going to put the Chicago Cubs here. Yes. Chicago Cubs now go in at number 6. 12-11 record. They're 7-3 in the last 10 games. They lost their last one. They're in the thick of that NL Central race, although it's way too early. 10th in batting average, 11th in runs scored, 11th in ERA, 20th in the WHIP. And since our last rankings, they were a hot team beforehand. They split a 2-game series with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim Interleague Series. 3-game sweep of the Miami Marlins, outscoring them 17-2 in those 3 games, and then winning 2 out of 3 from the Arizona Diamondbacks. They took 2 out of 3 from the LA Dodgers, and right now they are losing to the Arizona Diamondbacks 7-3 in the bottom of the 6th at Chase Field, home of this year's Royal Rumble earlier this year. 2 more games against the D-backs this weekend, and then they have a 2-game interleague series with the Seattle Mariners at Seattle, and then that big 3-game series with St. Louis next weekend. Always fun when they get together. So the Chicago Cubs now in the number 6 position as far as power rankings are concerned. Like I said, I'm moving Cleveland way up after what they did tonight. Let me see. So the Cubs, I said the Cubs at number 6. Number 5, I believe this is where I have the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I believe that is confirmed. Let me just double check on that. Yep, that is indeed confirmed. Although I might have to make another addendum here because I think I'm running out of teams here because of all these numbers and everything else, and teams under 500. So yeah, so I'm going with the Dodgers here for now. I believe I said they were number 5. Yes, Dodgers coming in at number 5. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make room for one more team here because of the numbers. So it's gonna have to be a reluctant new number 10. Make it a number 10, and yeah, I have no choice. So this is a reluctant number 10 here. Texas Rangers, 12-12, 5-5 in the last 10 games. They lost 4 in a row, but I had to make room for another team here to counteract. So I'm going to run down the Rangers numbers. They're 12-12, 7th in runs scored. They're 12th in batting average, 29th in ERA. They're 30th in WHIP. And they split a 2-game series with the Oakland Athletics. And then they had a 3-game sweep of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at home. They outscored them 22-11 in the process. Won 2 out of 3 from the Houston Astros, but then this week was a bad week, getting swept 3 in a row by the Oakland A's in Oakland, getting pounded by Seattle last night, losing to Seattle again tonight. So, like I said, reluctant. That's all I have to say on that because I had to make room for somebody. 2 more games against Seattle this weekend in Seattle, and then a 2-game interleague series with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then the Toronto Blue Jays come in. So Texas is now the number 10 team. All the other teams are moving them up by 1. So 10 is the Texas Rangers. And yeah, Houston losing. So Pittsburgh Pirates now come in at number 10 because they've lost 5 in a row, 5-5 in their last 10 games. Yeah, because we have a lot of 5-5s, we have a lot of 4 and 6s, and we do have some hot teams, but unfortunately they don't meet our criteria, which is they have to be 500 or better. And it is what it is. So But anyways, Pittsburgh Pirates are the number 10. They've lost 5 in a row. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. That's the only thing that saves them right now. So Pittsburgh is now number 10. Texas is now number 9. I think this makes room for everything. The Pirates, 4th in ERA and WHIP, 23rd in batting average, 29th in runs scored. They're 2 out of 3. They took 2 out of 3 from the Washington Nationals, and then 2-game sweep of the Detroit Tigers interleague series. 2 out of 3 from the San Francisco Giants, but then they got swept 4 in a row by the Arizona Diamondbacks. And man, they got pounded 30-7 in those games, and then of course they're losing tonight to the LA Dodgers. So they have 2 more against the Dodgers this weekend. Then they had that 2-game interleague series with the Texas Rangers, and then another 3-game interleague series with the Oakland A's. So Pittsburgh Pirates are number 10. Texas Rangers are number 9. And I've lost all control of these power rankings. You know, it's tough when you have under 500 teams and you have a lot of teams that are 5-5, 4-6. That doesn't help matters. Makes things really tough for me, but you know, it is what it is. So it's it's Pittsburgh at 10. It's Texas at 9. Tampa Bay is now 8. Houston is out because they're 4-6. So we have to knock them out. So, yep, no doubt about that. So Tampa Bay comes in now at number 8. And then from there, we have the St. Louis Cardinals at number 7. I believe I have Minnesota at 6. And I think that should solve the conundrum. Minnesota goes to 6. And the Dodgers, I believe the Dodgers, actually it's the Cubs at 5. And then it's the Dodgers at 4. I got the Indians at 3, the Yankees at 2, D-backs at 1. Yep, we got it. So I believe I've solved the conundrum here. So I apologize for all of this. I know it's very frustrating, but you know, it is what it is. So that last 10 is the killer. That really is the killer. So I was gonna talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers now. LA Dodgers, they come in now at number 4, 16-11 in the NL West. They're 2nd in runs scored. They're 6th in the WHIP. They're 11th in batting average, 15th in the ERA. So, talking about the Dodgers, they lost 2 out of 3 to Milwaukee, a 3-game sweep of Cincinnati, won 3 out of 4 from Milwaukee in Milwaukee, that NLCS rematch, of course, and then they lost 2 out of 3 to the Cubs, but they are having no trouble with Pittsburgh. They're leading them 6-2 in the bottom of the 5th. 2 more against the Pirates this weekend at home. Then they go up to San Francisco, 3-game series. That ought to be fun. You know it is. And then they go up to San Diego for a 3-game series with the Padres. Honorable mention. Many honorable mentions. They're one of them. So Dodgers come in at number 4. Cleveland Indians are number 3. They've now won 3 in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games, 15-10. They're right there with Minnesota in the Central. And I believe I already ran down their numbers. The 5th in ERA, 7th in WHIP, the 24th in runs, the 29th in batting average, and went down their results. They've come a long way. They got swept by KC a couple weeks ago, bounced back with a 3-game sweep of Seattle. They did lose 2 out of 3 to Fletcher's Braves, and then split a 2-game series with Miami. They're 2-2 in a 4-gamer with Houston. That's huge. And then they get the Marlins again in Miami, and then Seattle comes in. So that's big right there. So that's the Indians now at number 3. And at number 2, it's my team, the New York Yankees. Who would have thought, despite all their injuries, 8-2 in their last 10 games. They lost the last one to the Angels. They're 14-11, 2 games behind Tampa Bay in the AL East. Yanks are 6th in runs scored, 10th in ERA, 11th in WHIP, 14th in batting average. Since our last rankings, the Yanks, they lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. They swept a 2-game series with the Red Sox at home, outscoring them 13-3. I could not have been any more delighted about that. Then they went on to win 3 out of 4 from the Kansas City Royals at home. Won 3 out of 4 from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And right now, they lead the San Francisco Giants 4-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. So 2 more games against the Giants this weekend, which will obviously conjure up memories from the 1962 World Series. And then another interleague series, a 2-game interleague series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So we've got a couple of games of the century here because we have the 2 hottest teams in the game right now. And they're going to meet in Arizona at Chase Field for 2 games on Tuesday and Wednesday night. And then next weekend, the Yanks have the Minnesota Twins coming in. So who would have thought, with all of their big names injured, Aaron Judge injured, Giancarlo Stanton injured, Gary Sanchez injured, who would have thought it with all those injuries? Who would have thunk that they would be the number 2 team in the power rankings? They easily could have been number 1, but they did lose last night, and that hurt them. So, but man, I'm so proud of my team, man. They're fighting, man, and I can't tell you how proud I am right now to see my team, actually doing well despite all those injuries. Just imagine when those guys come back. That's all I can say. So, New York Yankees number 2. Number 1, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks. They've won 4 in a row, 8-2 in the last 10, 15-11. They're second in batting average, third in runs scored, 13th in the WHIP, 16th in ERA. And since the last rankings, it was dicey. They did lose 3 out of 4 to the San Diego Padres at home, but then they bounced back in a big way. A 3-game sweep of Fletcher's Braves in Atlanta. Then they did lose 2 out of 3 to the Cubs, but what really did it was that 4-game sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh, absolutely dominating them, outscoring them, like I said, 30-7. Amazing. And they are currently leading the Chicago Cubs 7-3. That game now going to the 7th inning. 2 more games against the Cubs this weekend, and then that huge 2-game interleague series with the Yankees. And then they go up to Colorado for a 3-game series with the Rockies, another honorable mention team. So Arizona Diamondbacks close it out at number 1. So I finally figured out the conundrum. So that's it. So I'm sorry if I bored any of you with all that. So that's it. Strictly Sports for this week is in the books. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Michael Bolick, if you're still with me, God bless you. Let's have your shout outs, and then I'll move on to the future content.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm still here, so hey, don't worry about it. Stuff like that happens. So anyway, getting to my shout outs, of course. Shout outs to our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this or our Wrestling Forum shows. We thank you all so very much for tuning in tonight, and of course, shout outs to all of our super fans out there. You guys know who you are. To all of our friends from our high school days, you guys know who you are. And of course, especially to Michael Fletcher, who unfortunately couldn't join us tonight. I mean, and of course, to all of our local personalities from 610 and 12. Of course, our personalities from ESPN, Fox Sports, MLB Network, NFL Network, NHL Network, NBA TV. And of course, our friends for the Road Show. Of course, the former co-hosts Mary Larson and Megan Mooney. And of course, to the 3 current people, Will, Brendan, and Michaela. And of course, there's another shout out I want to give out tonight. And I'm pretty sure you saw this on Facebook. I want to give a special shout out to the Torch Run Committee. Of course, today I went to a Torch Run conference at the Special Olympics Rhode Island office in Smithfield, and I thought I was going there to give a speech, and of course, then they brought up my Super Plunge team, and then the person who was responsible for all that, Elwood Johnson, Richmond PD, shout out to you, my man. He presented me with an award tonight. I mean, earlier today. I mean, basically, it was an honor. It was for my never-ending support of the Torch Run, and it really caught me by surprise. I mean, I want to thank them for this great honor, and I'm proud to call all those men and women who were part of my Super Plunge team, not just my friends, but they're like family to me. So I thank them again for this great honor, and I'm proud to and I'm proud to like I said, call them my friends. So thank you again for this great honor and something I will never ever forget. So so with that being said, till Monday night for another all new edition of Ridiculously Raw. This is Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. And of course, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends, and enjoy the weekend, everyone. Florio, take us home and set up that future content.
Yes, indeed. And, I did forget to mention that before the show, we were going to be dedicating this show tonight to the memory of the legendary John Havlicek of the Boston Celtics, who passed away last night. Being remembered as a man of integrity and a Celtics legend. And, we here at Strictly Sports are saddened to hear of his passing, and we want to send out our thoughts and our prayers and our condolences to his family, his friends, and all of those men who were fortunate enough to call him a teammate, during those glory years of the Boston Celtics, in the 60s and into the early 70s. One of the most iconic calls in the history of sports, the late great Johnny Most saying, Havlicek steals it. Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. It's all over. We'll never forget it. 1965 when they won it all. So, he'll best be remembered for that. So this edition of Strictly Sports was dedicated tonight to the memory of John Hondo Havlicek, one of the greatest Boston Celtics of all time. And, one of the many reasons why you see all those banners in the rafters of TD Garden nowadays. So when you look at those banners, think of him, because he was one of the many reasons why there's so many banners up there nowadays, 17 of them. Could there be an 18th in the future? You never know. So this one was for you, my friend. So that's all we can say on that. Special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there, especially those who stuck around while I was, caught in that power ranking conundrum. God bless you all for sticking around. That's all I can say on that if you did. Indemnities are not easy. That's all I can say on that. So I finally figured out the conundrum. I had to do a couple of reluctant entries, but it is what it is. So, but anyways, a very special shout out, as always, to our tremendous fans and viewers who continue to make our shows as over as they are. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. The First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the Woodson family. Of course, our insiders, Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK, the other First Ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway, the crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Braderson, Rob Parsons, and of course, Goodell MF Michael Fletcher, who couldn't be with us tonight. I'm not sure if it was work commitments or what the story was, but hopefully he'll be with us come Monday night for Ridiculously Raw. So a major shout out to MF. And of course, Derek Ferreira. Of course, Derek Ferreira, the man who puts it all together. DF from RI 401. We can't forget about him. Great docket this evening as usual. Let me see. And then, of course, our personalities from 6, 10, and 12. All of our friends over at ESPN, FS1, NFL Network, NHL Network, NBA TV, MLB Network. Lindsay McCormick, State of Sorrell. Our friends from The Road Show, Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby, Michaela Johnson, the former co-host Megan Mooney on Channel 10, as well as Mary Larson. And of course, last but not least, my wonderful friends and church family over at Oasis of Grace Ministries on 464 Silver Spring Street in Providence. If you need a church home, check them out, exit 25 off Route 95. Sunday morning at 9, Bible study, 10:30 Sunday morning service. Wednesday night at 7, Bible study as always. Other things going on. Look forward to seeing them on Sunday as always. And And that's it for that. Of course, next Monday night, we'll next be with you rather on Monday night for Ridiculously Raw. And we'll run down Monday Night Raw and a very special Tony's take. In addition to my latest reviews on 205 Live and Impact Wrestling, I will also be giving you the results of the upcoming Impact Wrestling pay-per-view that goes down this weekend. It's called Rebellion. It'll be live in Toronto at the Rebel Entertainment Complex. The headline match, of course, Johnny Impact and Brian Cage for the World Heavyweight Championship with a special guest referee. And Bullock, you're not going to believe who this special guest referee is. I think if I say this statement, you'll know who I'm talking about. If I can be serious for him for just a moment.
Oh my gosh! Don't tell me.
You know who? You remember who said that?
Lance Storm.
Lance Storm. That's it. Lance Storm is going to be the special guest referee for the main event. So that'll go down on Sunday night, and of course I'll have the results of that to close out my Tony's take and to close out the show on Monday night. No review, just results. And then of course either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on MF's schedule, it will be the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF. Unfortunately, we had to cancel our Cerebral Smack Talk this week because of personal reasons beyond MF's control. But you know, as Derek Ferrero always likes to say, we all have lives outside of YouTube and podcasting and all that. So hopefully we'll be back on with that this week, either Tuesday or Wednesday. It depends on MF's schedule. And then, of course, next Friday night, Strictly Sports. And I'm pretty certain that next week will probably be our annual NFL Draft recap edition of Strictly Sports. You know how we do that. We run down each team's picks. We give them grades, the reasoning behind them. So hopefully we can make it somewhat of a rapid fire thing, because I know it tends to be a long show and we don't want to bore anybody. So let's try to, pick up the pace on that a little bit. So that'll be next Friday night. So that's it. So until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, it's Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, Edie Woodson, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed weekend. And until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, you've been watching Strictly Sports right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.